Welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. I am Cyrus Dabar and here's what we have in store for you today, both on 4 wheels and on 2. The Audi Q5 gets a petrol engine. We ride the Bonneville Speedmaster and the Mercedes C-Class facelift. So let's start with that Audi Q5. Now the Q5 has been launched earlier this year with a diesel engine. Now though, Audi has shoehorned a petrol engine in it because, well, the Indian audience is moving slowly back towards the petrol engine market. So how's it to drive? Well, Amaya has been having a little bit of fun with it and here's what he thinks.
Audi knows the importance of SUVs. And they began 2018 with the launch of one, the second generation Q5.
Well, a fresh face makes a whole lot of difference, but a fresh engine makes a significant impact into the segment. And this is where the Q5, the second generation Q5 that is, with the petrol engine comes into place. The Q5 still goes up against the likes of the Mercedes-Benz GLC, the BMW X3, the X3 of which has significantly been updated recently, and the Volvo XC60, which does not get a petrol engine at all. And this is where the Audi Q5 will make a significant difference. But we'll know more about it when we get behind the wheel of this one. No significant difference between this one and the diesel, but that engine, well, let's check what it's like.
But it was only available with the diesel engine when we got behind the wheel of it. But now, it gets the added advantage of a petrol powertrain. The only noticeable difference between the petrol and the diesel is the 45 TFSI badge at the rear. And yes, at the end of the day, it's all about that very badge, isn't it?
Under the hood is a 2-litre petrol engine churning out 248 brake horsepower, and there is 370 Newton meters of torque on offer. Now these numbers are similar to what we've seen on the Q7, but there is an extra punch here. The torque kicks in at around 1600 RPM, and that is very low. 0 to 100 is done in 6.3 seconds. Top speed is 237 kilometers per hour. Now I have not been able to do that, but well, it's capable of doing it because of that 7-speed dual clutch transmission.
The engine is silent and the NVH levels are in check, making it a lovely thing to drive. Steering feedback has improved too, as it offers a more connected feel and gives you confidence to chuck it into a corner. And of course, you get quattro all-wheel drive for when you do need to take it off the beaten path or through some large potholes.
It's really good, it's fun to drive, and dynamic mode unleashes a beast of some sort, and the comfort mode, well, it helps in cruising around the city and even on the highway. So you've got, well, a sense of both worlds, and you can take this off-roading because this one has an off-road mode which basically takes you wherever you want, and no problems and no questions asked.
The cabin has been carried forward from the diesel, so there's the 12.3-inch display for the instrument cluster, and well, you have the virtual cockpit in this one. It's got the switchable views and large screen format for navigation. There's also the 8.3-inch display that sits atop the dash. You also get a panoramic sunroof and good knee room at the rear. On the safety front, there's 8 airbags, while on the convenience front, there's Audi's Park Assist system along with a 360-degree camera. The Audi Q5 ups the game in the mid-sized luxury SUV segment because it feels richer, plusher and even sportier, and with the petrol engine brings even more value to the car by giving its customers a choice. With prices starting from 27,000 rupees, the petrol Q5 undercuts its chief rivals, the GLC, by 43,000 rupees and the X3 by 1,53,000 rupees, making it a great value proposition.
That Audi is definitely going to take the competition right to the Mercedes-Benz GLC and the BMW X3. Now moving to something more exciting on two wheels. Now the premium motorcycle range in India is growing, and the most popular apart from the adventure motorcycle segment is of course that sort of modern classic type of motorcycle. Now, Triumph has been making big inroads with the Bonneville range, and now there is a new one on offer. It's called the Speedmaster, and Preetham has been riding it around, and here's what his impression of the bike is. Triumph Motorcycles has extended its best-selling modern classic range with yet another beautifully crafted, loaded with modern technology motorcycle, the Bonneville Speedmaster. Unlike the other models in the Bonneville series, the Speedmaster is a cruiser. It's the more comfortable cruiser from Triumph, and we spent some time admiring it and getting suitably impressed with its performance.
Let's face it, Triumph Motorcycles has been on a roll in India. It's now the second largest selling premium motorcycle brand in India. And most of the credit goes to the modern classics in the Triumph motorcycle range, which belong to the Triumph Bonneville family. Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster, it's based on a bobber. It gets a pillion seat, so more practicality there. You can carry luggage for a long ride, and it's got better front brakes. It's got a dual disc setup compared to the Bonneville bobber. And the Speedmaster will try to take on American rivals in the cruiser segment in this 10-12 lakh category.
It is drop dead gorgeous, and it is unmistakably a Bonneville. There are modern classic touches like the throttle body covers designed like vintage carburetors. Then there's the nice chrome belt on the battery cover. A hardtail style chassis with a concealed rear monoshock completes the period look, as does the classic Triumph badging on the fuel tank. But make no mistake, the Speedmaster is a thoroughly modern 21st century cruiser decked up like a classic. And part of those modern touches are in the LED headlights and DRLs, the round half analog half digital speedometer, and of course the engine and cycle parts.
What's also nice are these slash cut exhaust mufflers. They look absolutely fantastic, very nice touch there. And on top of that, they sound brilliant. You don't need aftermarket exhaust with this stock slash cut mufflers on. They've got a nice bassy rumble. Very nice sound there, isn't it?
The 1200cc high torque engine is the latest parallel twin from Triumph, which is shared across several models in the Bonneville range, and the Speedmaster also gets traction control, 2 riding modes and standard ABS. The swept-back beach bars, forward-set foot pegs and low seat height make it accessible to a diverse set of riders of all size and builds. The 1200cc parallel twin engine has the performance and range for all kinds of riding, with power and grunt accessible with just a slight twist of the throttle. The torque comes in low in the revs, so anything above 2000 RPM pulls cleanly and with urgency. The Speedmaster's ride is pliant and plush, and during our test ride, it sailed over almost all kinds of surfaces with remarkable poise. The fat A1 Cobra tires do not hinder the bike's handling. In fact, the chassis is taut and the Speedmaster is steady and remains planted even when pushed around a sweeping or slightly tight corner. But that's when the bike's chink in armor is exposed, ground clearance. There is no complaint about its handling, and it begs to be pushed harder, and that's why you'll end up scraping the feeler bolts on the pegs, not to mention the somewhat unnerving sound of metal scraping tarmac.
Well, if you're the kind of rider who's into cruisers, you can certainly look at the Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster. Looks absolutely fantastic, has a great engine, very smooth very tractable, got oodles of performance, and it's got practicality now as well with the pillion seat. On the flip side, what it lacks is a little bit of ground clearance, so you need to be a little careful while going over speed breakers, or if you're a sporty kind of rider, foot pegs will give way if you take corners too aggressively. Other than that, I think the Speedmaster makes a very good case to take on the American rivals in this segment.
At 11,11,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the Bonneville Speedmaster offers something different from the current crop of American cruisers available in the segment. It offers a level of refinement, quality and performance that is difficult to resist and certainly deserves a closer look.